Welcome to the 80th video in our series about Unix tools. In the previous 3 videos, we have worked with a zip format archive. We've learned a lot, but we haven't learned how to update an archive in place. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do in this video. Let's say you received a zip archive, unpacked it, and the code worked, but you realized that some of the files needed to be improved. After you've made the improvements and tested them, please remember to test them, how can you update the archive so that any files you changed are updated in the zip file, any files you added are added to the zip file, and any files you removed are removed from the zip file so the zip file contains exactly what you want? You could just make a new zip file. And if your project is small, that's the best choice. It's easy, it's safe, we know how to do it. However, if you're dealing with a multi-gigabyte zip and you want to just change a few .c or .h files, you may not have enough disk space to make another zip file. That means you need to know how to update the zip file in place. This is actually very easy using the -fs option to zip. Let's don't keep talking about it. Let's do it. So, we've got our archive that we've been using in all these zip videos. There it is. And you can see we've got the directory here. So, great. We're going to modify the archive. So that means we might break it. Let's make a backup of the archive just to be, just to be safe. So I'll create a just in case copy of the archive. So no matter what we do, even if we destroy it, we've got the backup copy. Okay. Now we go into Yo, and we've done the testing and we know it worked. But we decide to take a look at the factorial function. And so we've got the two files visible. We can see, yes, I've got the header guards. Yes, I've got the function prototype. Down here, I do have a small comment. Really, I should make this a complete sentence. And that's there. But I don't have any license information. And in today's world where, actually writing code, you don't get paid much, the money's all made by the lawyers, well, you better have a license in here just to make sure you don't get sued. So let's come up here and put some license information. And so we might put something like written by I'm a coder. This file is placed in the public domain. Okay, that's pretty safe. It says anybody can do anything with it. Oh, I got that wrong, didn't I? Okay, so both files now have the public domain comment at the top to let people know it's okay, it's in the public domain, and maybe, maybe we ought to give the file name in there. Okay, so we save those files, and we say, I better test it. Let's test my static library first, because it's easier. It works. You see the pass at the bottom of the screen. So we do a disk clean on that. Double check because I'm paranoid. Looks good. Let's try the shared library. It shouldn't make any difference. These are just comments, but you never know. Maybe we made some typo while we were editing. Okay, it says it's okay. And remember, for this one, it's a little tricky to run. So we have a run it target to make it easy. You see the pass right there. So everything's good. And now it's time to update the archive. Now, in the introduction, I said for a small project, you just make a new one. But that doesn't teach you anything. So let's assume this was some giant project. It's not, but we're going to make that assumption. Okay, here it is. We want to update this guy, but only the files that changed, and we want to do it in place. In this first round, we have not added any files, we have not removed any files, but we've updated factorial C and factorial.h. And I don't want to have to remember every file I updated and put them in a long list. That's error prone. Fortunately, Zip knows you don't want to do that. So they have a special option, file synchronize. And then you give your archive name. And since we backed up Yo, we need to use the same creation that we did the first time. And if we do this, it will compare the files in the archive and the files that are in the real Yo, and it will make the updates. Watch. You see, it updated factorial.h and factorial.c. And if we look inside, factorial.h and factorial.c are updated at 6:03 a.m. and all the others are unchanged. And the comments for the file level comments didn't get destroyed, and the zip file comments fine. Everything else is fine. And so success if all you want to do is update existing files. But we know that when you work on a project, you're going to do more than that. You're going to add new files. So let's say somebody decided test it was a stupid name. And so they told you, I don't like test it. I want you to call it test me. Okay, you know, it's a manager. You don't have a choice. So you move testit.c to testme.c, and then we have to update the make files. And we come in here and we say, change every testit to test me globally. Do the same thing on the other side. Save. Okay, let's do a make -f make file. Test me seems to be okay. Test your shared library version. Ooh, see, our shared library version has a problem. We didn't get every tested like we thought we did, which is a disappointment. But we don't give up. We go back in there, we do it again. And we've done it. Great. Our files are updated. And what did we have to change? We had to change the make files. And of course, this is a whole new file. It's really a rename, but it's a new file and the old file's gone. Let's go back and see how smart -fs really is. So we do it again. We know it should remove testit.c. It should update makefile2, and it should add testme.c if it's really smart enough. Would you look at that? Updates makefile2 and makefile. Deletes testit.c. Adds testme.c. And of course, the directory here got a new time, so it did store that new information. Let's make sure everything's really there and nothing that we don't want is there. So we do a VL again on the archive, and would you look at that? It's just, it's beautiful. There's my test me, test it is gone. My make files were updated, but the comments didn't get destroyed. The comments are still there. They're fine. What can I say? Total success. And the only thing we did was, and it was so easy, when we originally created the archive, we did that. When we wanted to resynchronize, we add that, file synchronize. You need to remember to do a make disk clean before you do this, or it's going to add all the .o and it's going to add the .a and all that junk you don't want. So make sure you clean up Yo first. but you can see how this would work on any project. And it updates this file in place, which means you don't need to have gigabytes of disk. It will, for the second copy. This one is small, so we didn't need it anyway. That's it, a whole video, but this is the kind of thing a developer would need to do a lot if they're exchanging their project with other developers and they're using the zip file format. This is actually easier than the tar XZ. So this is one reason why some people really love zip. We've reached the end of our time for this video. And this is the last video on zip that we're going to do right now. So if you're bored with zip, don't give up hope. My next video will be something completely different. Until then, thank you for listening.